K.I.D, you finna go to George Mason over UNC Chapel Hill? Yes, sir, boy.
Rolling with the squad, we be going so hard like whoa. You know what it is, and we always get it in, whoa.
Alright, just before getting into the video, I want to give you all the statistics firsthand. Here is my transcript. I know everyone talks about GPA and how it doesn't matter and it can change from college to college, but here you can have mine, look at what I have, look at your grades, and you can kind of compare based off everything I have. Now, just going ahead and getting it out of the way in the beginning of the video, not to tease y'all or anything, here are the colleges I got into. Alabama, George Mason, Chapel Hill. Here's the college I did not get into. NC State, and damn it, FSU. So now you can also see my SAT scores. I really struggled with the SAT, and the ACT was not that much better for me, but I got a 25, and I think a 26 was my highest ACT. And with that being said, I'll let y'all enjoy the video.
All right, let me get into this decision a little bit, and along the way, I'd like to give all of you juniors and anybody else who's starting to apply to college, I want to give y'all some advice, talk about what I did, so maybe it can help you on what you're gonna do. So first, I like to just say every college I applied to and kind of my mindset behind applying there. First one, Alabama. The reason I liked Alabama, it was my safety school, was because I'd done a camp there. I did a communications camp, and I really enjoyed it. And I really thought that could be a place for me. And as a safety school, it was really solid. I know a lot of other people that had safety schools, and they kind of liked them. They're like, I don't really want to go there. And then when they got in there, when I got into Alabama, I was excited. I was happy. I was like, yo, if this is the next step, so be it. I say the next hardest school I applied to, which didn't work out too well for me, K.I.D, was FSU. I thought I had one of my best friends going to FSU. I went up and visited them. I liked the campus. It was really pretty. I thought it was just a really good atmosphere. You know, I thought FSU, once again, a big football school and a big party school, but I didn't really look at that so much. I looked at the communications factor, the fact that, you know, it's in a big city like Tallahassee. And I did the tour and stuff, gave me good vibes. I really thought it could be a good place for me. They obviously didn't feel the same way because they straight up denied my ass. They said no. Fun fact about FSU, and I wish they would have told me this before I spent my $85. If you have a D on your transcript, it's a no-go. Now, I'm a really smart kid, bro. I think I'm pretty smart, at least. I got a 4.0, I taken 8 AP classes, but I got a D+ in algebra because I'm terrible at math. I'm trash. I was in algebra 2 honors. I shouldn't have been in that class in the first place. I stopped trying. I got a B- the first semester, and I thought in my brain, there's no way she's finna give me a D. She gave me a D+, and I had to retake the class. I don't understand why they even let me apply. They should have been like, oh, you got a D, don't apply.
Alright, the road got a little noisy when I was trying to talk about Clemson, but I'll give you all a brief overview. I applied to a Clemson. They initially deferred me, but then after careful review, they decided to accept me on the contention that I would be going to a summer course that was, I think, 5 weeks long, and then they would allow me to go into the fall semester. I'm not sure how they're doing that this year with the whole coronavirus situation, but by the time they had already told me that, I had already made my decision to go to George Mason. But the reason behind Clemson was really similar to the reason with Alabama. It was just a big school with a lot of people, and with more people, I thought more opportunity, so that was just kind of my rationale behind it. Also, my best friend Adam applied to Clemson. They denied him. Wait. Did they deny him? No, they accepted him. I capped. I just capped on my man so hard. No, they accepted him. I don't think they deferred him, though. But I will say I got really good vibes on the Clemson campus as well. It's just really far away from any big city, and I was really looking for that as a communications major, trying to network with some people in the cities. But the campus is magnificent. It is huge. That's a real college town where, 200 miles surrounding it, it's still Clemson.
Which gets me to my next college, which I think is very similar, but it's a little weird one because you probably haven't heard about it before. It's George Mason. Now, I don't know how I hadn't heard of this college before because it is a huge college and it's right outside of DC in Fairfax, which I spent most of my summers at. But in my junior year, I was given an invitation to go to this journalism camp. And I'm a big writer, not really want to be a journalist, but I'm a big writer and I really thought that could be a cool opportunity. So I went to it and I had a great time. I really enjoyed the campus. It's just a cool place. It's just the coolest place, yo. And a lot of it's because it's a new school. It's only been around since, I don't know when, but it's super new. It's not, one of these Harvards that's been around since 1700, it's fairly 21st century. It's just new. It's NC State type new. So the next college I applied to was NC State. They also deferred me, and I never even accepted their wait list. I don't know if they waitlisted or deferred me. I think they deferred me. The difference is when you get waitlisted, you just have to accept it. When you get deferred, you have to apply again. I think they deferred me, and I didn't want to apply again. I was like, I don't really care. And now the final college, which was my number one for a very, very long time, was UNC Chapel Hill. And at first, they denied me. I was at a basketball game with all my friends. Adam sent me a text. He applied to the same school. We're very similar students. He said, yo, they denied me. I said, oh shit. Here it comes, Scotty. It's over with. But they deferred me, and that was heartbreaking, honestly. It was really sad. But the thing I learned with deferrals, if you get deferred, I think there's a great chance that you get in. Now, that's a bit of a stretch to say. Everyone has a different application. Like, everything's a different situation. But from everyone who I know who got deferred, very few people ended up actually getting denied. And I think the reason that people get deferred is because the university gets a lot of applications, especially like Chapel Hill. I think they got a lot of applications from really smart kids, and they're like, do we really want Schulze? This kid's got a D. Let's just put him on the deferral list or the wait list. I got waitlisted. I'm sorry, I didn't get deferred. I got waitlisted. They're like, let's just put him on the wait list, and we'll come back to this. If the kids who are going to Harvard don't end up going to Harvard and they come here, we won't let them come in. If they end up going to Harvard, then we'll let them in. So I'm going to get into why I chose George Mason, and then I'm going to give you guys some tips as to how you should pick your colleges and how I think you should kind of look at and gauge where you want to go. So when I got into George Mason, it was the best feeling ever. It was better than any other college. It was the second college I got into, and it was just so hype. Like, it just felt good. I was like, damn, that's fun. Because I got into the honors college, and they gave me a scholarship. And after I got deferred from UNC, I went ahead and put in my deposits, my housing deposits and all that, because I didn't want to miss out on housing. Because originally, UNC Chapel Hill was going to wait until July to tell me. And I was like, well, I can't miss out on getting, a room and all this different stuff. And I just want to go ahead and have a decision. So I did all that with George Mason. And as I waited, I got more scholarships. They gave me, I think, 2 or 3 more scholarships, so just some little grants and stuff. But, I just really feel like them giving me scholarships shows that they really wanted me. And I think that made me feel some self-worth. Self-worth. I just felt happy about the whole vibe. I just thought it was a really good vibe. I called housing. I had a meeting with one of the RAs, or it was some type of counselor. I forget who. Just every experience I had with this college was positive, it was good, and it never made me unsure. There was other colleges where I'd be on tours, where I'd be anything with them, and I just felt a little bit, I don't know. I just didn't really know how I felt about the whole situation, But I never felt that way about George Mason. And a few weeks ago, I got into Chapel Hill, and I was at this dilemma. Do I want to go with a college that's given me all these different things and has showed and expressed interest in me as a student, and who really wants me to be a part of their program, be a part of their university, and be a part of their culture, and be a part of their life? Or do I want to go to the place who's technically more prestigious, but I don't really get that same vibe from? And now, don't get me wrong, when I did the tour at UNC Chapel Hill, I'm from North Carolina, I felt it. I was like, damn, this is fun. Definitely didn't feel that at Duke. No, I don't really like Duke, but Chapel Hill, I got good vibes from, like, it's just, as Chapel Hill, like, as a North Carolina kid, that's the spot, you know what I mean? So I was at this really tough dilemma, because I had told everyone for a while, Chapel Hill number one. When I had to really break down my options and see, would I be better off with my opportunities at George Mason, or would I be better off with my opportunities at Chapel Hill? I can honestly say I think it's George Mason. I don't think it's a better school. I don't think either one of them is a better school than the other. I just feel like, for me, George Mason is a spot. And I don't really like that word prestigious, because, I think everybody just has a different fit. And, to me, I think George Mason's Honors College is more prestigious, because I feel like I'll be valued more as a student there. And that might be completely wrong, but that's just how I feel. And at the end of the day, college is a thing where you kind of have to feel it out. People always talk about when you tour a place and you get that feeling. The whole thing isn't really logical at all. You just kind of have to do what feels right in your gut. So that's my biggest takeaway. I really hope me explaining to you in this long ass video about what I did and about where I applied kind of gave you a good feel for what you want to do, maybe, because I'm not going to sit here and try to give you tips and try to tell you what type of universities, because that's all you. At the end of the day, you gotta live your truth so nobody can use your truth against you, K.I.D. I really appreciate you guys listening. I really hope me talking about what I did can kind of help you. I didn't want to sit here and give you tips about where you should apply to college, how to narrow down the list. Like, you can go look at that somewhere else. I just thought giving my personal experience, talking about what I did and how I kind of narrowed things down, and basically how I fell into where I am now and how my process has evolved, I thought it could really help you guys, so I hope it did. And if you got to this point in the video, I don't see why you shouldn't subscribe, because I'm freaking fire. And you should probably like the video too, because then it's gonna get more likes and more views and stuff, and that's also fine. So like, just rock with me, K.I.D.
Teachers constantly talking, I didn't hear them at all. Mr. Love, pay attention, stop looking at the wall. Stop being such a nuisance, get yourself out my room, get your head out the cloud.